Welcome to Family Therapy with Mojo. Tonight I wanted to talk about eating disorders because as we head towards the fall and people going back to school and stress is mounting here because nobody knows what's going to happen, eating disorders are on the rise. In fact, they're going through the ceiling. Even with all my years of experience, I'm surprised at how many old clients have phoned me up to ask me if they can refer somebody, if I can talk to them. So tonight I thought I'd tell you a little bit of a story about how I became involved with eating disorders in the first place, because it wasn't in my program, and what I want to do, why I want this to very much be part of this channel. In fact, it's one of the two reasons I created this channel. So let's go back many years ago now, about 25 years ago, when I first decided to open my practice in Geneva. All I was intending to do was specialize in alcoholism and addiction. My father, who I had adored, had died of alcoholism, and it just broke my heart. And the other reason was that in Geneva they were, and they still are, very, very behind in treating addiction. So I opened, and much to my astonishment, practically immediately, people started coming to see me about eating disorders. When I look back now, I can quite see how this came about. They heard addiction to food. And so I started on this road. And over the years, I saw some incredible cases, some heartbreaking cases. I literally can say I hate the illness. It's a filthy, dirty, nasty illness. It's like having a lodger living rent-free in your head. During the course of all those years, I was fortunate enough to be able to train in Canada with the most incredible lady who had a clinic out there and who got people better. But I'm jumping the gun here. Why I'm talking about all this tonight is that I have a quiz on my blog. What kind of an eating disorder personality do you think you have? So if this is of any interest to you, if you think you might have a weird way of eating, or you might be a bit worried, or you have someone you're worried about, just go and take the quiz. The other reason is that my ambition, once the channel gets going, is that people will start communicating with me and talk to me about their experiences with eating disorder, because what I want to do one day is create a course. I want a course for parents and for school teachers. It's incredibly important to help them and teach them how to spot and stop it. I can spot somebody a mile off now. It's almost, I don't even realize I'm doing it. So following on this, why I'm talking about all this is to really stress and underline how useful it is to be able to recognize it, to be able to read all the subtle signs that if you have no experience, you can't possibly pick up on. Yesterday, I was in the car with a young teenager who I love dearly, and she was wearing a pair of shorts. And on the top of her thighs, there are lots and lots and lots of little scratches. You'd think kittens had scratched her very regularly. And she said, "Oh, I know, you don't have to tell me." And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "But listen to me. Aren't you glad that I was able to step in and stop that because I knew what was happening?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "So one day, when you have children, if you have a daughter or they have friends, you are going to be able to do the same thing." I, with one of my daughters, knew what to do, and I was able to nip it in the bud. I shudder to think what would have happened if I didn't have my experience and I hadn't been able to stop it. So that was my experience, and I've never stopped being grateful. I've been able to step in time and time again with their friends. And if you catch it at the beginning, it's a wonderful feeling. That's why I'm such a believer in prevention, and that's why I'm on a quest to get something together which is going to enable people to recognize it and step in. Because left to your own devices, what usually happens, people start feeling more and more uneasy, and they know something's wrong, but by the time they really figure out that something pretty serious is happening, they're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, which is emerging. The big bulk of the illness has already got itself well entrenched, and that's what I want to stop. So I hope this has been of interest. I hope if anybody watching feels any kind of concern for one of their children, for themselves, please get in touch. You'll find all the details below and on my blog. And sometimes people get in touch with me because they're not quite sure. And what we do is we have a 90-minute session and we literally cover all bases. And sometimes they're okay. They don't need to do anything else and they can stop right there. Other times they become aware that now they need to act. And one of the things I'm a great believer in is getting everybody involved in this, because it's a family illness and it does not need to get so lethal. It doesn't need to kill, and we can stop it if we all band together and learn more about it.